So a brief overview of Family and Youth Partnership is we're a team of individuals who all have lived experience with receiving services at some point in our life. We have our youth advocates, and they have lived experience with receiving services as youth, and then we have our family partners who have lived experience as parents of children who are receiving services. So some of the ways that Family and Youth Partnership helps support our families is we have this saying called do for, do with, cheer on. And when families are first navigating services for the first time, it's really hard, it's confusing, there's things that are unfamiliar. You know, you have your family dynamic, and then all of a sudden there's people that are coming in and telling you to do all these things, and it gets hard. And so having that lived experience of, yes, I've been there, and how are we gonna figure this out together? So our saying, do for, do with, cheer on, pretty much we are coaching our families with how to navigate through certain things. You know, when you're sitting in these meetings with social workers, and whether or not you're in the courtroom, whatever it is, we're helping our families, and we're kind of doing the work for them at first to kind of model and show, you know, what this is supposed to look like and how this can best benefit you and your family. And then do with. Once your family is familiar with how to do something, you know, encourage them to help sit with you, and you guys can do it together, because at the end of the day, they're going to want to do that by themselves, because our families are strong and they're resilient and they're totally capable of doing it. And then once our families have mastered the skills that they have learned from you, you know, you just take with you, they let them run through it, and then they have those things on their own, and you can encourage them to do it without your support. And then that works out pretty well for them. Some other things that we help our families with is kind of just navigating these systems for the first time, because like I said, when you aren't used to having people in your home and all of these service providers, it gets really confusing and really hard. So just being able to sit with them saying, I've been there, I feel what you're feeling, I can't imagine, but this is your life, this is your story, and how can I sit with you, and how can we kind of get through this together, and how can I support you? And just having that space to hold for them to share their feelings, to share their emotions, and to just be vulnerable with you so that you can figure out together a way to help get them through this. So Family and Youth Partnership is unique because we are specifically trained on how to tell our stories and how to, you know, go out in the field and how to work with families. So at Stanford Sierra Youth Families, something that we do is we host a teen group called RISO. It stands for Resilient Youth Speak Out. And it's a group that is meant for teens to go and connect, to go and learn advocacy skills, and just have a space for their peers to sit with each other and just be vulnerable. All of the youth that show up have or at one point were receiving services. And it's kind of just a space to unwind. We provide them food, we do an activity, sometimes we have guest speakers. And it's a really awesome thing that we do at Stanford Sierra Youth Families. Another thing that we do is we have support groups for our parents. And so that's something that the family partners will have for our parents. And we have different topics for them as well, so such as, you know, how to manage social media with your teens. And then we also do a childcare section for our support group so that the parents can come and they can get their, you know, their break from the kids sometimes, and then go and just learn a little bit more about, you know, how can they be more competent with how to navigate the challenges with raising kids with mental health challenges or whatever it may be. So we provide childcare for that. So those are some different ways that we as an agency and us as a department are unique, because we hold those different spaces for our families to really have a voice. We also have something called shared leadership, and this is a group where we have different parents from the community who come and they meet together and they talk about, this is what I needed in services, or this is how I feel like things could have gone better for me. And that really allows a bridge to be built between our families out in the community to a service provider to then bring that attention to our agency and say, hey, this is what people are saying that they need. What can we do to make that happen? So those are some different ways that our Family and Youth Partnership department is unique. What connects me to the work that I do here at Stanford Sierra Youth Families is I'll pull a little bit from my lived experience. I know when I was navigating services as a child and even as a young adult, always feeling like I had no voice, like I had no idea what was going on around me, like the adults knew better than I did with everything, and not really feeling like I would be heard. And so oftentimes I never reached out. Oftentimes I was getting treated for things that I felt like I didn't need treatment for. And so something that keeps me going, and what I really love about Stanford Sierra Youth Families, is our goal of always making sure that family and youth voice are heard. And that's something that, I kind of make that my mission, is along with the agencies, is always making sure that when our youth and families are navigating services, that we are always thinking about them, thinking about they need, and not having, any cookie cutter approaches to anything or having any hidden agendas, and just making sure that, we are doing thoughtful and meaningful work by making sure that the youth and families are the ones with the voice and are the ones that are kind of leading these discussions with us, and the ones that are having, the buy-in with how their services are going. Because at the end of the day, when we're gone, they're the ones that are going to need to kind of take on their challenges on their own. And if we aren't doing our part by making sure that we are providing them services that they need and they feel is beneficial for them, we're doing them a disservice. So having that directly aligns with my lived experience, and like kind of seeing that firsthand working here, I'd say that I love working here. And the fact that we do well as an agency with embodying the fact that, our youth and families, their voices matter.